We have Luskus and Potm here going to be going into the match as we speak. We had Fogged was AFK for that last game, so we're going to get it started right away here and see if Potm can close this out or if we're going to go to a game 3.
Yeah, I mean, personally, I'm always cheering for a game 3. It's always much more exciting when you know that both teams are up against the wall and they have to win. So maybe a little favoritism towards Team Luskus here, just hoping that they can take it to the game 3 so that we can see anything happen and really the crazy stuff come out. But regardless, I expect that we will have a good game from both teams, and I don't know, I'll be interested to see what exactly it is that Potm pulls up out of their sleeve this game, knowing that they cannot get that Chaos Knight.
Yep, Chaos Knight going to be that first ban that we talked about and everything. But it's going to be interesting to see what Potm decides to ban out here, and we'll see the first pick come from the Radiant side this time from Team Luskus.
Yeah, I mean, knowing you have first pick, some teams consider it an advantage, some teams consider it a disadvantage now that there's a lot more imbalanced heroes or semi-imbalanced heroes in the game. You know, maybe getting 2 picks is better than 1 at this point. Also getting that 3rd pick, which you can ban immediately afterwards, which allows you to take a hero that's much less likely to get countered. It's tough to say, but I mean, still having that first pick, you constantly threaten the Lycan or the Furion, so we'll have to see most likely Potm banning out the Furion in their next 2 bans here, as well as obviously the Darkseer and Lycan, both really strong heroes. I mean, I would say if I had to guess, the 4 strongest heroes in the game at this point would be Chaos Knight, Lycan, Furion, Darkseer.
Yeah, I say so, as well as Lushrek being an honorary mention there with his team fight capability and pushing power.
Yeah, it's definitely true. I mean, the one thing that makes these 4 heroes specifically so strong is that they're just all so difficult to deal with. Like, there's no easy solution. Like, Panda is also kind of in that boat, but a little bit differently. I mean, Panda can be dealt with if you can basically just avoid team fighting, whereas a lot of these other heroes, even if you avoid team fighting, they're just getting so much farm and pushing lane so much that you're going to lose towers regardless. But taking the Panda out indicates that, well, and actually a Furion ban, even though they have first pick, so I guess they don't even want to play Furion. That would indicate to me that instead they basically want something else, like maybe that Chen again, which would be why Potm did take out the Panda to kind of prevent that huge team fight lineup with Chen pushing power.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen a Chen every single game that we've casted for this tournament, yesterday and today, so it wouldn't surprise me at all to see Chen picked up again from either team here. I mean, he's definitely great pushing power. He has the support with his heal as well as a mech/mana boots, and I mean, he's definitely a character that can't leave untouched on the picking phase, and we're going to see the ban on the Chen this time. So as I say that, maybe we'll see an Enchantress come out here from one of these teams.
Yeah, it's certainly a distinct possibility. The thing with, I guess, letting Chen through sometimes is because, you know, at this level, well, and actually the Enchantress will be the first pick, so Team Luskus is really serious about going with that pushing lineup. Enchantress, even more kind of a burst pusher early on. I mean, she can come out of the jungle basically in the first minute or 2 with 2 to 3 creeps actually, which really is strong at taking down tier 1 towers as well as setting up ganks. And the difference is that Chen is really strong in the mid game where he can TP heroes back, has constantly 3 creeps to push with, and that really significant AoE, or well, not AoE, entire game heal. But on the other hand, Enchantress scales much better into the late game with that impetus doing true damage, and can just output a ton of damage later on as she picks up that Aghanims. So they're kind of 2 different sides of the same coin.
Yeah, I mean, and for the people out there that really don't know what the true damage means in a case of the Dota 2 scene, if we have some like LOL viewers or something, what does true damage mean?
Yeah, so true damage, as I did talk about yesterday, is, but I guess we have twice as many viewers today, so it definitely makes sense to bring it up again. True damage is essentially magic damage that is not mitigated by magic resistance. I say magic damage because if you do activate a BKB, you cannot actually be affected by true damage abilities like Impetus or Silencer's Glaives. But at the same time, it bypasses any sort of armor. So normal armor does not affect it, and magic resistance is not affected either. So it is if it can hit you and you're not BKB'd, it is always going to do a precise amount of damage based on how much you deal when you attack, not how much is going to be dealt after mitigation, which makes it scale extremely well, because obviously as the game progresses, heroes increase in their armor as their agility gains, give them more armor, obviously, as well as items, and magic resistance can basically be picked up by anyone, so this is just a great way to guarantee that you're going to deal a lot of damage later in the game.
Yeah, and on the path of Potm, we saw them go with the Invoker Broodmother pickup. And now back to Team Luskus. They're going to pick up their support with their Crystal Maiden, as well as their mid/ganker with the Queen of Pain being able to do that output, as well as her AoE ability to kill off Spiderlings later on. But do you think we'll see them take a Sand King here to counteract that Broodmother pickup?
I don't know. I feel like if they were going to grab the Sand King, they probably would have done it in those first 2 picks. I mean, CM, you could probably swing until later. I mean, you're the one with the jungle creep hero like Chen or Enchantress, so if anything, well, I guess maybe that's why you take the CM. The other team doesn't take it with their 3rd pick, which I guess was a possibility. But still, I don't know. I mean, if Sand King doesn't get banned out, I think there's a distinct possibility of them picking him up. I mean, he would work pretty well if they decide to put him, I mean, kind of with CM, Sand King, and then the Enchantress in the jungle. They can have that farming Sand King who picks up a very fast blink, or they can always put him in a soul lane bottom if they know that the Brood will be in the sacrifice lane, and just put that Sand King solo up against the Brood from level 1, and then put your CM +1 and the Enchantress in the jungle top, which is a bit riskier, but can pay even greater dividends.
Yeah, I mean, you're exactly right there. And the Tidehunter pickup going to be coming out from Potm bottom here. And just adding to that team fight, going to be able to have the Anchor Smash as well as the Gush in the fights. And we see the ban from the SK coming out there. So Team Luskus not going to be able to pick him up if that was their intention later on. They should have picked him up in the case of that Crystal Maiden there if they were going to do that in the first place.
Yep. Really, I don't know. Bottom showing they certainly don't want to lose any sort of team fights with that Tide pickup, but at the same time having Broodmother for some great split pushing. So this is actually going to be a really tough nut for Team Luskus to crack. I don't see exactly what the weakness would be at this point. I mean, all 3 of those heroes are just so strong and so versatile. I mean, well, no, Brood's not really very versatile, but Brood just so effective at her job. And I don't know, with the Sand King banned out, what exactly it is that Team Luskus will do to try to counter that Brood. I mean, other possibilities, a kind of more uncommon one would be picking up that Omni Knight, which some teams actually do use to try to counter Brood. Other possibilities, certainly like the Beastmaster, which would be a little bit more common, or even just like you were talking about, using the Queen of Pain Screams to quickly kill down the Spiderlings. But either way, it's a hero that you constantly have to focus so much effort on, and it's going to make it that much more difficult to push with the Enchantress, knowing constantly that somewhere else that Brood is going to be taking down your towers if you waste too much time.
Yep, Luskus is going to be banning out the Enigma as well as the Venomancer, so taking away team fight potential here from Potm. And, I mean, with the help of the Tidehunter and everything, I mean, he should be able to set up everything correctly if they pick the right supports and maybe another hard carry to go with them. So I don't see that being too big of a problem on the fact of the Dire side at the moment.
Yeah, well, and the Dire has basically no set stuns at this point. I mean, they got the Tide Ravage, but it's not a reliable stun for ganking with Exort, or with Sunstrike. So I would have to guess at this point that the Invoker will be going for a Wex build, cost Wex build that is, which is pretty effective when you have a Tide, because if you can set up a Tornado that catches 2 or 3 heroes and allows the Tide to move into position to get that Ravage off, that's just going to be insane. So, I mean, at this point, that would be my guess, but like you said, the supports they pick up will really determine how it is they exactly want to play their hero lineup. And at the same time, I mean, what Team Luskus wants to do is pretty clear. They want to gank. Well, early on, they just want to push. And then in the mid-game, they want to gank and turn it into pushes. And that is why the Storm was banned out. Again, just preventing Team Luskus from getting those really mobile ganking heroes, which can set up a push so effectively.
I mean, I could see Luskus here picking up a Beastmaster pickup as well to deal with the Axis for the Spiderlings and send him in the suicide lane. But, I mean, I'm trying to see what else they would really pick up here in the fact of supporting their team and really rounding out their actual team to deal with what Potm is going to be end up picking up here. They is on their pick now, and we see them wasting a little bit of their bonus time here. So we will have to see.
Yeah, I mean, you could even send the Beastmaster bottom if you know the Brood is going to be down there as well. I mean, Beastmaster doesn't really beat Brood, but it can at least fare decently against her. And if you're in the safe lane, you'll have a decent chance at that. At the same time, the one thing about Tide is really good as the game progresses, but he's not very, very strong early on. Well, he's very strong in the sense that he has a ton of health, but he doesn't really affect a whole lot. I mean, his Gush is decent for ganks, but it's not amazing, and especially if you're matching up against, Enchantress with 1 or 2 creeps, the CM +1. It's not going to be very favorable with Tide up there. So they could actually decide to send their tri-lane or 2+ jungle top and really take the pressure to Potm bottom very early on.
And Luskus taking a lot of time here. Almost 10 seconds left on their bonus time. They need to pick up a hero really soon or it won't be random for them. But, I mean, and they're going to go with the Slardar. So, I mean, solid pickup here. He has the really fast sprint that he's going to be able to have. He has the amplified damage with the Queen of Pain there. They're going to be able to see the Broodmother pick up later on, or the Broodmother later on with that ultimate. and just a very dominant, powerful stun as well.
Yeah, I mean, the amplified damage definitely great against the Brood. Also good against the Invoker. If they do expect him to be a Cost Wax, he will have access to that Ghost Walk, and preventing him from getting away with that is always an added bonus. Also, it makes taking down the extremely tanky Tide that much easier, because if you negate his armor, even though he has a lot of health, he goes down pretty quickly. Although, I mean, they don't really have a ton of physical damage to really complement that. Generally speaking, when you go with a Slardar, you usually want some sort of a ranged DPS hero, and I mean ranged physical DPS, because Queen of Pain is definitely a DPS hero, and she is ranged, but not in the sense that she benefits from amplified damage so much.
Yeah.
So typically, you want something like a Mirana, even a Windrunner, something like this, who's going to do a fair amount of right-clicking, and they don't really have that at this point, so we'll have to see if they do decide to try picking something like that up, or whether they are just going to rely on the amplified damage for invisibility sighting, and maybe just for a little bit of extra damage along with the Queen of Pain.
I definitely think Windrunner would be a great pickup there for Luskus at the moment. I mean, they have the added Shackle, and with the amplified damage, he can be able to set up a snipe with the power shot. And they have the stun capability with Lina, with Slardar, with the creep of Enchantress, as well as the slows. And Windrunner going to be picked up for Potm bottom, though.
Yeah, Potm bottom, I guess, I don't really know exactly how they're going to set up that Windrunner. I guess it's going to be a support Windrunner, which is not really optimal, at least in my opinion. Some people like to differ, but I don't know. I mean, it doesn't really work very well, because Windrunner doesn't really need farm that much, but she definitely needs levels, and in a support sense, she doesn't really gain levels. Now, she could actually be the, like, kind of the farmer in the tri-lane, which is a possibility. I mean, whoa. Is Merlini playing for Team Luskus here? Wow, a Zeus pickup. That's unusual, and I don't know. I mean, that's...
I don't know.
Broodmother, I guess it reveals Broodmother, so there's that. And I guess the Chain Lightning could be decent against the Spiral. I don't really know. I mean, that's...
I mean, I see with an Invoker, a Tidehunter, and a Broodmother, and you pick up a Zeus, like, that Zeus is going to get melted, just like the CM.
Yeah, and the Zeus doesn't really have any great targets from it. I mean, you got the Windrunner, who Zeus is definitely very effective against Windrunner, because obviously doing a lot of magic damage, completely ignoring the Windrun, and Windrunner doesn't have a lot of health. She relies on that Windrun for survivability. So Zeus is good at killing her off, but not so really good at killing any of the other heroes off. Brood doesn't have a ton of health, but it's just so fast that Zeus can't really keep up. Invoker, if he goes Quas at all, will have at least a decent amount of strength, especially with Bracer or whatever else he might pick up for drums, and then Tide obviously has a ton of strength as well. And so I don't know, and then Dazzle.
I love this pick by Potm here. Dazzle, definitely a very, very strong hero, one of the strongest supports, and we don't see him that often in the competitive scene. So it's going to be interesting to see a Dazzle here. He's going to be able to throw up the Shallow Grave on the Invoker or the Tidehunter, and really help set up a gank here early on, or even later on in the game if the Tide needs to ult and he's going down. The Shallow Grave can really help him get that ultimate off.
Yeah, and I mean, we might even see what was used a long time ago, but I haven't really seen it much since then. I can't remember what team exactly it was that first used the strategy. I want to say it was AL, though. But putting the Brood with the Dazzle, and what you do, obviously, is you get the Brood to spawn a couple Spiderlings up, and then you charge those Spiderlings through the Invis Web to surround an enemy hero, and then use that Shadow Wave to do a ton of damage. And there's really not an easy way to stop this, unless you have sentries down, because you don't know when those Spiderlings are coming at you. And I don't know, this can be a really effective combo. It's possible that they do end up trying to do this, because I mean, with the heroes they have, I mean, you know, Tide can kind of sit up top with Windrunner soloing, and Tide's just kind of pulling and stacking. And I mean, it is Kizzles, and Kizzles has basically shown that no matter what hero he plays, he's always really good at abusing those jungle creeps for pulls and stacks. I mean, even playing Furion in the jungle, he was spending more time pulling than he actually was farming with his trees. So I think that's pretty likely that you'll see the Windrunner with the Tide in the jungle pulling, stacking up top in support. You'll see the Broodmother along with Dazzle bottom, and then the Invoker in the mid.
Well, while this pause is going on, I'll go ahead and introduce the Radiant team lineup, which is Team Luskus. We got Hawaii O is going to be playing the Enchantress. Joe Rotten is going to be playing the Slardar. The stand-in Hasu is going to be playing the Queen of Pain. Exordi going to be on the Crystal Maiden, and Noah going to be on the Zeus. So it looks potentially right now that they're going to be Zeus and Crystal Maiden top, but they could just be going to set up a gank up there.
Yeah, meanwhile, for Potm bottom, Fogged will be playing the Invoker, Way Too Sexy on the Dazzle, AUI 2000 on Broodmother, Kizzles playing the Tidehunter, and Snaking on the Windrunner. Yeah, the Radiant lanes, I mean, I would guess, I I don't even know what I would guess at this point. I guess you could have the Slardar solo bottom with the Enchantress in the jungle, and then that Queen of Pain running mid, and Zeus. Zeus CM top. I mean, if you know that the Windrunner is going to be top, if they're predicting the Tide Windrunner kind of combination up there, then it makes sense to send that Zeus CM top. Both of them really effective heroes against Windrunner. Obviously, Frostbite holding Windrunner in place when she windruns is a good way to stop her from getting away. And then Zeus, that burst damage I was talking about that he can put out regardless of the physical damage avoidance.
Yeah, I mean, we'll just have to see. It looks like they're going to do, it looks like a 4-man gank top. They do have the, I love the courier. It's a little tree stump courier with the little treasure chest on him.
Yeah, that is definitely a sweet courier. Not a huge fan of a lot of the items that have been brought into Doji so far, although we did talk about some sweet Tide loadouts in the previous game that we saw. It was awesome. But some of these couriers are just awesome. The robot one doesn't really get me that much, but this tree stump one is awesome, and the Juggernaut one is pretty sweet too. Yeah,
I ended up getting the Badger one to drop for me in a pub game a couple nights ago. It was really cool.
Yeah, the Badger one is definitely awesome. I mean, who doesn't love Badgers? So the Dire lanes were correct, except they did swap it up. They put the Broodmother and then Dazzle up top instead, which makes it a little bit stronger lane for them, although it doesn't give the Tide a whole lot to do, is the one thing. I mean, they did show that they like to have this dual lane with the Windrunner in the Sacrifice lane as prior with that Earthshaker, although it's a little bit different with Tide, because Tide doesn't really have the defensive... I mean, Tide is very difficult to kill, but he doesn't have an ability which can protect another hero as effectively as a Fisher can from dives or anything like that. So we'll have to see exactly what it is the Tide plans on doing here. Maybe just go into the jungle and harass the heck out of the Enchantress if the Enchantress is down there. Although it looks like the Enchantress will actually be up in the Dire jungle, and we are going to see Queen of Pain bottom and old school solo mid Zeus.
Yeah, I mean, top lane they're going to have Slardar Crystal Maiden, which I mean I guess could work with the stun as well as her Frost Blast, but I mean I think that Brood's going to have a tough time up there.
Yeah, I want to point out this actually, the warding from Team Luskus here. This is really, really unconventional ward spot. I mean, the Dire did already counter ward the pole spot ward, so it's a good thing that Team Luskus didn't place there. Instead, they've placed it all the way up in this lane, which actually doesn't quite give vision. I want to take a look. Yeah, it doesn't quite give vision to the tower, so you're not going to see any TPs in or anything like that, although there really won't be TP-ins coming in the first 6 minutes anyway, so I guess it's just to give vision of exactly where the heroes are going to be up here. Really unconventional, though.
Yep, Windrunner Tide going to be bottom against that Queen of Pain down here, so we're going to have to see how she does here against this lane. Very, very aggressive with the gush and everything, so going to have to see. Slardar going to be up here against AUI 2000. They're going to probably get a couple Sentry Wards up here to deal with him in the very soon.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of surprised that they didn't have Sentry Wards from the get-go, but with the CM with almost 200 gold already, she will be able to quickly pick up another set of Sentries. Maybe even, yeah, going to take this last hit on the Centaur creep there, and that Sentry's already in the stash, will be coming on the Courier, although without a Flying Courier, she's going to have to go back to get that, but I think that'll be just fine. Maybe Enchantress will quickly get up enough gold to flying that Courier, although I don't think so in time. Meanwhile, though, the Brood has already started spawning up spiders and is trying to put some pressure on this Slardar. Slardar has purchased a stout shield from the get-go, though, so that'll give him a lot of effective HP playing against this constant harass from Spiderlings. And Slardar is actually being pretty aggressive here against this Broodmother, so looks like we're going to have a high-action game in this top lane with these two lanes really just going at it.
Yep, Fog playing really aggressive against the Zeus mid as well. Zeus already out of mana, haven't used his Clarity Pot, down to 20 mana at the moment. And looks like on the Courier we do have a bottle on the way as well as a Clarity Pot for him.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of sucks for him not to have gotten that bottle already. He is going to, in theory, get this regen rune top. Yes, he is. But actually, action going top. The Sentry Ward is placed down, and they do see the Broodmother getting trapped by the Troll, and they do take first blood for the Slardar. Really nice job there. Enchantress is actually skipping past. They're going to keep going for this for the Dazzle. Dazzle does have level 2, hasn't grabbed it yet, so if he needs to, he could grab Shallow Grave, and so instead they're just going to back off. Dazzle actually does manage to get the last hit on that Centaur. But yeah, I was going to say, it does kind of suck for the Zeus mid not to have gotten his bottle before the 2 minutes, but was able to get the rune anyway, knowing that Invoker doesn't really care about it too much, and I mean, he understood how important that Sentry was for top, which was kind of exclamation pointed by the fact that they got the first blood.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. In bottom lane right now, Quap trying to do what she can. We see constant harassment here, having to blink out 172 HP at the moment. And only 4 creep kills for her at the moment. So Luskus, or Potm doing a great job shutting down that Queen of Pain And now we see the Tornado being used here by Enchantress to try to help out and kill these neutral camps, as well as put additional pressure on the dire side.
Yeah, they have taken the lane into a position where they have pretty strong control over it. The Brood is still spawning up spiders, and she is going to try to use those spiders to harass back CM as much as possible. CM does still have one... Oh, wait, no, she doesn't have a sentry? Where did they place... Is the sentry on the Slardar, maybe? No?
No.
Where is that?
Enchantress has a sentry.
Oh, Enchantress has the sentry. Okay, so they actually transferred the sentry to the Enchantress. So the Enchantress will be able to come out of the jungle and place that down. But, oh, there is that combo I was talking about. And Enchantress is actually going to be in a lot of trouble here. Spawn Spiraling Charge is going to fly right into her, and she is going to go down. So immediately that Dazzle combo, there's actually no sentry because the Enchantress was carrying it, which didn't really pay off for them. Brood looking for another Spawn Spiraling on the CM. CM going to go down as well. Double kill. Well, not actually double kill, but one for the Dazzle and one for the Brood. Really nice aggressive turnaround there from the Brood Dazzle combination, and really abusing that early damage that you get from a Shadow Wave combination with the Spawn Spiralings.
Yeah, AUI 2000 going to have a tough time up here with both these things, but we did see him pick up a kill there, and we were talking about it yesterday if anyone was watching. AUI 2000 is definitely a good Brood player. He's really known for that, and a lot of the team's been banning Brood Mother against Potm here in this series.
Haste!
Yeah, Enchantress has picked up a haste, looking to go in the Dazzle, but there are just too many Spiderlings there. AUI 2000 being so effective with those Spiderlings, constantly having them in good position, splitting them up, sending one here, four there, etc. Getting constant vision and pressure applied with those Spiderlings, even if he can't necessarily be up in melee range. And already having that Soul Ring just allows him to spawn that much faster. Spiderlings are coming up here. The Poison is going to go out on Slardar, but it's only level 2, so there is no 1 second stun yet. Just needed a little bit more experience. Slardar is going to turn this back around. Unfortunately, they're splitting the damage. One going on the Brood, one going on the Dazzle. Dazzle is going to run off to the left here. He does still have Shallow Grave. Meanwhile, the Windrunner actually did pick up Queen of Pain bottom. Dazzle is kind of a little bit far forward, but they just don't have the mana that can follow up. Crystal Maiden and Slardar both no mana to use any sort of disables there or slows on the Dazzle, and he is just going to walk away.
Meanwhile, bottom, Sneaking and Kizzles both getting an assist and a kill there on the Queen of Pain, so doing a great job shutting down that bottom lane. Sneaking picking up the kill there.
Yeah, and meanwhile, I'd like to take a look. How is the Zeus faring against the Invoker in mid? Zeus is 20-2, while Invoker is 19-7. So Invoker with a slight edge, with just a little bit more denies. Obviously, very difficult to deny Zeus. Zeus has a pretty awful attack animation. Instead, just uses his Chain Lightning or Arc Lightning to get last hits and harass Fogged at the same time. Although Fogged with 2 levels in Quas can pretty much shrug off that harassment.
Wait a second, Hawaii getting harassed up top. AUI 2000 going to be able to pick up the last hit, and Enchantress will fall down in the jungle. Crystal Maiden trying to come in and support, but not going to be there in time. Slardar now trying to come in as well and harass the Dazzle.
Yeah, Slardar unfortunately still just no mana for stun. Has it in 1 second actually, and he's going to have to try to use it to break.
And AUI getting another kill.
Already dead. Slardar is going to try to turn around on this Brood, but the Shadow Wave is going to do a fair amount of damage to him. Will the Brood be able to get a block with the Spiderlings? Does block the bottom path off. The Centaur is still doing a fair amount of damage to AUI 2000, but the Slardar is trying to run out. The Spiderlings with the slow, continuing to keep him. Oh, nice Shadow Wave and a good, almost surround. AUI 2000 actually will have a Soul Ring charge in 1 second. Will use the Soul Ring. Will he be able to get the Spawn Spiralings? No. Slardar intelligently enough going around the right side, knowing that AUI 2000 would try to stand up on that hill and snipe him. And,
but here comes the Invoker. Invoker going to pick up the kill on Slardar though. And now Tidehunter mid as well.
Yeah, this Zeus is in a lot of trouble. Does not have his level 6 yet, so really no way of turning this one around. One more right click from the Invoker will be enough. The bottle isn't enough to save the Zeus's life, and that is a double kill for the Invoker. Although, at the same time, the Brood actually did somehow die top. Did you see what happened there?
No, I was watching mid. We're going to have to check back into that, but double kill there for Invoker, so now it's 7-2 in favor of Potm here in this series.
Yeah, I mean, Potm already taking a commanding early lead, which really isn't what you want to see when you have Enchantress on your team. Enchantress so effective early on. I mean, it's kind of like that Morphling thing that I was talking about, how Morphling is very good in the beginning and then obviously gets strong later on, but not really so much quite in the mid-game. It's the same thing with Enchantress. Enchantress is very good early on, being able to take multiple creeps early and apply pressure to either heroes or towers with those, and then good later, but she's going to start to fade out in effectiveness pretty soon here. So the fact that they haven't really been able to get any openings with her and just kind of lost that top, even though it was 3 versus 2, really is not a good sign for for AUI 2000. Sorry, looking at AUI 2000 when saying that, not a good sign for Team Luskus.
Yeah, I mean, Team Luskus at the bottom lane as well. Queen of Pain still level 5, only 7 creep kills, and did get killed by that Windrunner Tide combo. So, I mean, definitely having a hard time right now, but they're definitely not out of it. They have Slardar, they have the Enchantress. Queen of Pain is definitely a hero that scales late. But meanwhile, bottom Sneak King getting engaged on here by Hawaii.
CM is actually going in 1 versus 2 against the Dazzle and the Invoker in the mid. Oh, sorry.
And Windrunner did get picked off there by, Windrunner picked off that Queen of Pain is on the run. So more pressure getting added on by the Queen of Pain.
Yeah, Zeus has rotated bottom, but he's only level 6, still only 3 points in his Lightning Bolt, so it's just going to actually back off as he doesn't catch anyone. And, yeah, looks like still no openings for Team Luskus at all here. Really not going so well for them. Just not able to find anything out. Bottom has just been too... I keep trying to say out 2000, although it really has been. I mean, the fact that this Brood has been able to win a lane where they were 2 versus 3 just is kind of a testament to his skill and the effectiveness that hero and that player have had in this game so far, really completely affecting the game plan from Team Luskus.
Yeah, I mean, the Slardar is about 200 right now away from his Vanguard. But, I mean, Broodmother having that Soul Ring so early on was able to make it where he really did win that lane. He's level 8 right now, 44 last hits with 3 kills, 2 assists. We saw the Crystal Maiden now rotate mid. Fog getting Ice Imprisonment here, but a nice Tornado is going to be able to make him get away, though, and he will Ghost Walk out just in time.
Yeah, good heads up.
Meanwhile, nice Shackle bottom there by Sneak King, though. Centaur is going to come in. Windrunner going to pick up the last hit on Enchantress, and now Queen of Pain will have to retreat as well.
Yeah, Snaking already on a killing spree, which really just shouldn't happen when you're going up against Queen of Pain. Queen of Pain, I mean, pretty survivable hero. Generally playing sacrifice lanes 1 versus 3, and here he's actually just having no success. And oh, actually Zeus in a kind of precarious position here. Tide does TP in. It's the last hit with Gush, and Dazzle throws up a Shallow Grave on Fogged, just because why not? Although Fogged already with 1,000 health, just Zeus, nothing really he can do against the Invoker.
Yeah, Invoker 2-0-2 right now, 44 creep kills, has those drums already, and phase boots at 10 minutes in. It's just an amazing job, and we see AUI 2000 using his Spider Links just to farm the jungle and get added creep kills as well as gold brought in. We look at the experience chart, almost 5,500 experience in the lead for the Dire team, 4,000 gold in the lead, and that's definitely helping out with AUI 2000.
Yeah, the Slardar does have the Vanguard now, which you were talking about, but I feel like it's not enough. I mean, they really needed their... Oh, and actually, though, Snaking being a little bit aggressive, as he has been all game, could be in a little bit of trouble here. The Frostbite will come out. The Troll Trap should be following up in 1 second. They do trap, but a nice Shackle shot on the Queen of Pain. Just going to turn around and kill that Queen of Pain before going down himself. So, wow, nice heads-up play there by Snaking, knowing that he was in a bad spot, was going to die, but managed to pick up something out of nothing, which is just a huge difference. I mean, that's kind of a distinctive difference between pro players and amateur players. It's just pro players always understand their situation. Anyway, Zeus is going to go down instantaneously in the mid. Slardar does come in, gets the crush on Invoker, but cannot actually see the Invoker. Throws up Amplify, but actually tied Ravage, hitting 2. Enchantress going to go down as well, actually dying to the Dire Creeps, and that's 2 more deaths in the mid. And I don't know, these heroes just not able to do anything. Zeus tries to run up and Lightning Bolt the Invoker, and the Invoker just cold snaps him and does more right-click damage than the Zeus can actually put out with the spells, which is not a good sign.
And AUI 2000 just farming that top lane, going to be able to push the tower very soon if left uncontested up there. He has the Boots of Elven Skin right now, so we're going to see what exactly he decides to do here. We may see him even go with the mana style that we've seen him pick up before time and time again. But meanwhile, bottom, Queen of Pain going to get sniped again by Sneak King with the help of Fogged.
I don't know. Really shouldn't be happening. Queen of Pain shouldn't die this many times this early on. But Snaking, I mean, just doing an amazing job. Exceptional play on that Windrunner in both games so far. But yeah, I was going to say the Manta on Brood, it's kind of not super common, but there was actually a bit of a I don't know, essay written up by, I believe it was NS, preaching about why Broodmother should pretty much always be going Manta, which is the effectiveness of Manta for going high ground. Anyway, Slardar going in here, trying to slow down these creeps. Dazzle and Brood don't really care about Slardar too much. They understand that he has a Vanguard and they can't really get a kill on him, so they're just going to try to take this tower instead. TP coming in from the Enchantress. The Enchantress has no creeps, not going to be able to do a whole lot here. They do go down after this Broodmother, but there are no sentries dropped down. Basically, yeah, no one has sentries on them. So the Brood is going to just fine. Meanwhile, though, Zeus, wow, just dying again to the Tide Invoker combo. The Zeus just having a terrible time. Enchantress is going to get caught as well. There should be a Poison Touch coming out here in 1 second. No, they decided not to. No, Invoker is phase booting through. He can invoke another spell. Could invoke Cold Snap. Does invoke the Cold Snap up, but it's just a little bit too late. I'm surprised they didn't turn around on that Enchantress a little bit earlier, but I guess they thought there would be backup behind him. And so Invoker is going to have to run out now. Slow is already off, and Slaughter is not going to be able to catch him. And, Zeus actually does manage to pick up the Tide, but Invoker is actually turning back around here. Tassel managing to get a kill on the Crystal Maiden with, again, that Spiderling plus Shadow Wave combo. Slaughter still trying to just find someone, but he's just getting kited around. Zeus does land a Lightning Bolt. Slaughter is going to sprint now, will be able to get in position for Crush, but unfortunately does not have mana for the Crush anymore, and is just going to have to back off. So nothing really coming of this. AUI 2000 can throw one Spiderling charge into someone if he wants to, but decides just to back off instead.
Yeah, and Quap's still level 6 right now, 0-4 at the moment. Just 17 creep kills. We're 13 minutes in, so definitely not a good game for her at the moment, and it's really, really hurting Luxus at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, Snaking has actually almost taken this bottom tier 2 tower too. And I mean, you know, Windrunner not really a pushing hero in the strictest sense, but I guess one left uncontested, and he has that ring. It's just going to be pretty easy for him to take on these towers. Let's see if there will be some sort of response here from Team Luxus. Maybe they will be able to deny this tower. Windrunner is just going to Windrun and just happy to take on the tower. Shackle Shot is going to latch the Queen of Pain. Windrunner is going to pay for this with her life. There's pretty much no way she should be getting out of this. Queen of Pain actually decides to use the ult just to guarantee that Windrunner kills. Windrunner's going to be perfectly happy with that. Having to use Queen of Pain ultimate plus getting the tower regardless. Meanwhile, we do have an Invis Tide going after the Enchantress here. Gush is going to come out. Should be followed up shortly by a Poison Touch. Enchantress trying to juke off to the side, but there's really no way out of this for her, and she is just going to die to the Dazzle Shadow Wave. Dazzle on a dominating streak.
And nice tornado there by Invoker, able to pick it up. Cold Snap coming down, Gush coming in, and Dazzle getting the double kill. GG, well played, coming out from Luskus. Potm taking the GamerUniversity Open #2. They will be in the invitational with the $10,000 invitational with INFS, which is Team Infused at the moment. And we're going to be back with more and more GamerUniversity Opens in the next coming weeks. So definitely check us out at GamerUniversity.com, as well as check out DotaLive.net. I want to say a big thanks to Hari for coming in and casting the finals, as well as the entire invitational with our Open Series with me as well.
Yeah, it was definitely a pleasure to be here. Unfortunately, well, especially this game, not that interesting, but what can you do? Like we said, Potm definitely was the favorites here, and they played like it. Regardless, it was nice to see everyone come out and watch this, even if they weren't incredibly exciting games. Thanks for tuning in, and please watch us in the future, because we have a lot of fun doing this, and it's all the more fun knowing that you guys are watching it with us.
Yeah, everyone be sure to follow our channel here on Twitch TV. We do tons of Dota 2 beta key giveaways, as well as on our Facebook page, facebook.com/GamerUniversity. We do a daily giveaway of 1 beta key a day on our Facebook page. So if you are a person that has our Facebook on a like, you are entered to win a beta key every single day, no matter what, and you will be messaged.
Yeah, I guess that's pretty much all we have to say at this point. I mean, last disconnect is going to come out, so we will see the score screen shortly here. And yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. Again, just thanks to the players for coming out and playing in this tournament. It'd be interesting to see what Potm can put up against teams like Infused and maybe slightly higher tier teams as the last few spots, as we get further into the Open Series and more of those invitational spots get taken up, when they all know that they have a chance to compete for $10,000.
Yeah, we're gonna see 6 more of these open qualifiers. So I mean, definitely tune in if you are a team that wants to play. Check it out. It's on the Join Dota homepage, as well as GamerUniversity.com. When I post the 3rd one, you're more than welcome to join. Any team can play in this, and as you saw, a team can make it anywhere in this tournament. Potm playing Luxus here. Potm is going to be winning, and Infused was able to take home the first Open. So definitely thank you all for tuning in. Hari, any last words?
No, that's pretty much it. Hope to see you guys soon.
All right, thank you guys. Big thanks to our sponsors, Razer, Twitch TV, and Kingston HyperX Memory. Everyone have a great night.
I'll see you guys.